Yes. Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to this holy light circle. Renee is taking a little trip to see her family, so I'm operating the controls. I'll have to wait for this to come up and then. Okay, there we go. Yes. Okay. All right, we're ready to go, ready to rock and roll. There we go. Hi, everyone. From San Juan, Coastal of Mexico. We're rocking with Jesus. Everybody's jumping on the joining. How fun is that, really? To see we have such powerful mighties to call now. This is just so hilarious. So we started, we were getting set up for the meeting and everything. And Christy goes, golly, everybody, because Rita and Russell had signed in, were on. And she's going, wow, everybody's in their car until we see that they're both in the same car. So they're joining real time. You can see, we got stereo. That's really good. That's adorable. And all is one. All is one. Playing like the mini playing as one, playing as many. It's adorable. So many good joinings. So yeah, it was really fun to see. And I mentioned this to someone. What happened? We were in the kitchen at noon, kind of preparing the lunch, and like my phone was going off ding about every 2 seconds. Ding, 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 ding. It was just dinging. And we were going, that's just a reminder for us that the Holy Spirit is joining. We need to join the Holy Spirit. So that was really great. Everybody's contacting and jumping on calls. And this is the call for us to really step it up as divine beings and to help each other stay right side up as a symbol of joining with the light within and hearing the light within. The one who knows, the one who's going to keep us straight up. And we were talking about the kingdom of heaven. What a better conversation. Can we think of one than that? Supreme happiness. Because I could see in the play of consciousness, it was just kind of, well, not fun. I mean, not peaceful for sure, that play of, and feeling barred, having that, I'll never get into the kingdom of heaven. I'm never going to wake up. And at least now, if that plays, that tune, the sad tune of death plays, we know where to go. We just go straight up. Jesus, is this true? Is this true? In the light of divine being, starting with the light of divine being, is it true? Is unhappiness true? Can we find unhappiness in the light of divine being? So really staying joined, we're staying joined on decisions together to go, okay, Jesus, what is your will? What's the Father's will? And that way we are always following the light. We're following supreme happiness in that through this joining. And everybody's talking Jesus. It's so beautiful. So we'll look again. We looked at you believe the kingdom of heaven is denied to you. You believe you're barred from the kingdom of heaven. We're starting to see that the barring and the denials are us denying heaven. So the Jesus decode. I can't do it is I won't do it. I can't see that I'm light. I won't see that I'm light. I don't want to see that I'm light. I'm barred from the kingdom of heaven. I'm making a decision to block myself from recognizing the light is here now. You believe it takes time to recognize the kingdom of heaven. You desire an experience that it will take time to recognize the kingdom of heaven. He's just making it so kind of, okay, here's where the buck stops. Here's where it stops. Guess who's deciding that, even with no one here? The one playing is many. It's so mysterious when you think about it, you know? You just fall in love with your brother more and more and going, boy, not only do I need Jesus' help, I need my brother's help for sure. Can't do this alone. Not fast. As we've talked about, you can go live in a cave. And eventually you will. You can see, because the light's always here. Does the light doesn't go away. We've discovered that it's not hiding. You guys can check the car and see if it's hiding in the ashtray. I don't even know if cars have ashtrays anymore. But she's checking the ashtray. You know, really, it's so good to be playful about this, because we like took this depth of light so seriously, trying to kill that light off. And at least we can see that it's hilarious. You can't kill it. You can't hide it. You can't hide it in an ashtray. Jesus has been really funny today, because he was giving me this picture and I shared it kind of in my mind about how we're hatching that ego out. It's not a consistent experience. See, consciousness is going to stitch it together so it looks like, and other teachers have talked about that too. And as you start kind of, let's get curious with how this play in consciousness works, like that I've taken so seriously, and I've banked my whole happiness on this insanity, and just start notice thoughts come and go, thought trees come and go. You know, it's not consistent. The only thing that's consistent is the light of infinite being. And then you have to have a really consistent denial. But even with consistent denials, it doesn't matter, because the light's still here. It can't be denied. We can pretend like denied, we can sleep like it's denied, but the light's still here despite everything we might play to say, sorry, I'm no light for me. So now we're getting into all those admissions, and he's going, so you're hatching those little eggs out, little velociraptors. What do you call those things from Jurassic Park? You know, we're just hatching those little babies out, and they're running around and biting us, and we're wondering, because we're tending the incubator. Oh, little egg. Look how cute that little ego egg thing is. It's going to hatch out, and I hatch it and I nurture it. I'm going to nurture that little puppy, and then it comes out. How come I got bit? Instead of staying as the light. And see, stay with what can't get bit. Has anything biting happen going on in there in the light? So we're just, here we go. We're going to keep going. This amazing chapter 20, when I look at it and see what he really shared or extended through this, and then having us be able to look so directly with him and just develop that one-on-one, hear everybody talking Jesus. And it's really incredible to actually watch in each other. Like 1 minute, the clarity is just crystalline. And Jesus is telling me, oh, some of them are going to come to me, I know, because they're so point on point. The whole deconstruction of the egoic thought system, and it's coming out. Anyone can sit and just go, okay, Jesus, well, what about this? And then they deliver out the information. Okay, it's because I desire this, and he's showing me that it all goes, and I can see that it all goes down to the decision and for death. You know, it'll be that kind of level of clarity. But then the next minute, oh my gosh, Jesus, what am I mean, not even, I don't know what I'm going to do, because and you can start to discern the voice. And again, that's why he's saying for some of these calls, jump on with us or record them on your computer so you can go back when you're forgetting how clear you are. And we're denying that we can hear the voice all the time, and go back and listen to those and just see, you know, how you're a walking encyclopedia by direct experience of A Course in Miracles. And so we just keep practicing, you know, hearing Jesus and speaking it. And so it becomes, we recognize that that's the only natural voice there is, rather than choosing all those other voices in there to listen to. So we'll just review again. Jesus, is there any desire to stretch out time, a time experience, in order to see that I'm divine light? Can I stretch it out? Where's the desire below my level of awareness? To convince myself that I'm not light, that I'm anything but. Anything but. So we're but in the light. Like I used to say, I could just, it was, Jesus, this is really great, but. And we really want to give over and release the but Jesuses. Because we're butting ourselves, actually. We're saying no to ourselves every time we but Jesus. Is there any desire below my level of awareness for it to take time to experience the kingdom of heaven? Listen to what that's saying he's telling us. Look at that one carefully. Show it to me. I'm willing to see it directly. Correct me wherever you'd like to correct. And everyone's expressing how he comes in. You can hear him. Okay, am I ready for a miracle? No, look at this. Because he knows where that little extra no is. You know, that little, oh, I'll take it this far, but not all the way. When we go back, he says, yeah, you still have this little right there. Take a look. It's so direct. And admitting it. Oh, yes, Jesus. I don't want the kingdom of heaven at all. Not a bit. Not the light. It's a light. I developed a light phobia for myself. Okay. Anything else to see on heaven? Jesus goes, heaven's who you are. It's who we are. Heaven's identity. We're beyond heaven, actually. Is the light beyond heaven? That's the light. Yep. So light's beyond heaven. But heaven's a helpful concept up to a point to contrast between the idea of hell created on earth, seemingly, and that there's something else other than our idea of who we are. It's just that now here's a helpful concept, and then the ego, we desire and to mask what heaven really is. So then we have a concept of Peter at the pearly gates checking our list on the way in, and when you die, you go to heaven. So we can look. Is there any desire or any leftover remnants of the concept of heaven remaining below my level of awareness of what heaven is? Any of that little future timeline heaven thing? And we can even, let me ask, yes. So we can ask them, show me what heaven really is. Like go naked, like we don't even know what heaven is. I don't know what heaven is. Show me. He says, you know, heaven's your identity. What's available right now. We can ask the light, and the light of divine being and honesty of God is the light going, okay, got to wait for heaven. Do we hear those instructions? It's got a little tag. The light have a little tag that says, do not enter, got to wait to the future. The light doesn't have any instructions like that. It doesn't know what those instructions are. It just knows what is what is already here. What is actually beyond heaven, any concept of heaven, but it's a helpful pointer. The kingdom of heaven uses those terms. I said, Jesus is, what is that the kingdom of heaven, the light, infinite love beyond any idea, but the kingdom of heaven is a helpful pointer. Getting past the concept of what heaven is and the kingdom is. You believe that you are separate. Oh, we were doing this yesterday, separate and outside the mind of God. Let's just see if there's any remnants left of the desire to experience being outside the mind of God. We do a check-in, a light check. Call it the light check. and look for the ego meter and take Jesus to help us go down in there and go, okay, shine a light anywhere where I still might have a concept of that I can be outside the mind of God. Is that possible? Am I denying that somewhere? It says joining is to show that you're always inside the mind of God. Join with me. That won't last very long. I'm going to keep joining. He's reminding me to join is to honor yourself, honor the totality. You believe that having is opposite of giving. We looked at this yesterday. You believe that having rests on getting. You believe there's a value in the ego thought system. Let's just check in on that. It's good to go some of these again. As I mentioned, it's helpful to sit down with Jesus and just do a little check-in. I call them, even if it seems like it's cleared, I always still check. Because I'm giving the whole gig of miracles over to the one who knows. And so if it's a rising in consciousness or somebody says it or whatever, I check in. Is there anything to see here? It's like that continuum. Is there something I need to see? Is this an opportunity for a miracle? Because he's only going to be able to reveal what we're ready to see, our full willingness to see. You desire an experience in which you value the experience of the ego thought system. Show me any little hidden places for the value for the ego thought system. He says, ask for miracles. You don't even know what you need miracles for. Because we don't know what the I doesn't know what miracles are for. That's why he's reminding me, that's why I'm in control of the atonement and selecting which miracles are most helpful. You believe that something happening in form defined you. This is a good one to look at because this is the whole gig, that something in form can happen, which would put a definition on us. You desire an experience of what seems to be happening in form defining you. Jesus, is there any desire for something happening in form to define me? And he says that you can be impacted by something in form. That's the whole game. Anytime we think we're impacted, anytime we're upset because he's taking the scissors away, we think he's taking the scissors away. That's meaning that we think, or the thought of sacrifice too, is the idea that something in form will be taken away. She's okay. So we're really giving up that idea that something in form is the formless. Is light impacted in any way by form? Is form impacted in any way? The light, can the light be impacted by form? Yet we want that experience. Ask Jesus, do we want the experience? Do I have a desire for an experience to feel like form is doing something to me? Okay, I want to see it. Is there anything else we need to see around the desire for form, impact by form? Trying to change the changeless. That's what the ego doesn't want to see. We don't want to see that it's impossible to be changed. We want to feel like we can be changed. Jesus, is there any desire to feel like I can be changed? You just feel that wanting energy. Every time we believe the ego thought system, we desire an experience of what seems to be happening in form defining us. And every time we don't follow the Holy Spirit, we desire an experience of what seems to be happening in form to define us. So every time we say no to the light, it's like, okay, I'm handing out the request to feel like something in form defines me. See, the formless moves are following the light, is following formlessness. The undefined. We can ask the light that. See, following the light is following undefined, being undefinable, expressing as immutable being. And the ego is going to come in and protest that and scream. And we all had these experiences where we can just hear something in our hearts, but we back off. And I was really reminded because I was talking about, going to Jerusalem and being given a assignment, and woke up that morning. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I was gonna die actually. And because we were going to go on a tour and with somebody, quote unquote, I didn't know for sure. I didn't know about this person, and get in the car, and I wake up and I'm like, oh. And sometimes we just have to say no to all that noise. It releases so much infinite power. Saying no to that idea we have ourselves. And I remember Kirsten saying that. Do you have any idea how many times I've said no to the ego? We have to be willing to say no. Let's ask the light that. Do we have to be willing to say no to the light? Oh, no to the ego. We have to. We have to be willing. There's no way around that. You believe you can attend to what is not true. The ego. You desire an experience where you attend to what's not true. We're hatching those little Jurassic Park eggs, we're tending them. See, we're nurturing them. Or like we talked about, we're going out in the backyard and feeding the rabid dog. And they go, Jesus, what happens? It's biting me. We really want that experience of being bitten. We're talking about pain today. And, at first it seems really odd. Like, why would I want to have pain? Why? And we talked about that. The ego asks why. Now we know that's a code word to say, Jesus, show me the desire to experience pain. Show me the desire to experience pain. Instead of why. We can't ask why. The ego asks why. There's no reason why. There's never going to be a good reason why this would occur in consciousness. And the other thing is there's no answer for that because it's not true. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, is it possible to attend to the untrue? Does the light look for an opportunity to make what's untrue real? It just is. So every time we get involved in thoughts, we're tending the garden of the untrue. Let's ask the light that. Every time I get involved in a bunch of thought, am I tending to the garden of the untrue? Nurturing it. Every time I don't follow the light, am I tending to the garden of the untrue? We can ask the light that. I was like, yep. Every time we don't ask Jesus for directions, we're tending to the untrue. You believe you have a choice to be separate from God. You desire an experience of having the choice to have an experience that feels separate from God. Is there any desire for an experience to choose? See, we want that choice to feel separate. Let's ask the light. Do we want that light that choice to feel separate from the light? And hear the answer, yes, we want choice for the experience. Oh, he's really getting into choice here. You believe that choice is real. Jesus, is there a desire to experience choice is real? I can hear a big yes. Okay, what do we need to see? We have a miracle around choice, the desire to experience choice as real. Does light have any choices in there? Any choices to make? Can we be happy as long as we believe choice is real? And hear the answer. As long as we believe choice is real, we can never be happy. You believe questions are valuable. This is a really helpful one to look at and just notice the kind of questions that are playing out in consciousness. The why questions, the when questions, the what if questions. All those questions are doubt thoughts about divinity, who I am. That's why they point to what am I as the most valuable question. What am I? And can you show me? That question. Will you show me what I have denied below my level of awareness? What is it below my level of awareness that is questioning identity? So we can start notice the language patterns that create experience. Why questions? Why is this happening to me? When is this ego going to be over? Why isn't this ego over yet? Why is this pain happening? You can start to see that these are the cover overs so that we don't look. Remember, you'd be in the car when you're little. When are we going to get there? Just that sentence is the immediate future. The mom and dad, when are, I'm waiting for that happiness. When are we going to get there? See if there are any other questions, any other types of questioning questions. Anything other than light is a question about identity. Anything other than light is a question about identity. Now, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, now we're getting to, here's this one. You believe there is an order of difficulty in miracles. You desire an experience in order of difficulty in miracles. You're already a miracle, and that is all there is. So let's explore that. I'm asking Jesus, yes, that feels good. What does that actually mean? to believe that, well, love is maximal. Does the light have any order of difficulty of anything in it, or just it is? Isness. It's infinite love, maximal. Does it have a limit on love? If we look, does the light have any limits on love? So all of consciousness is an attempt to control love, to prove that love is not here. Infinite love is dead, to try to kill it. So then miracles, which are natural and 100%, there's no partial miracles. We can ask the light, are there any partial miracles? Miracles are complete. They're full expressions of light. For our purposes, because the light doesn't need miracles, but the idea that we have of who we are does. So as long as consciousness can maintain that idea, that concept, that love in its function is to try to control and limit love. So it's going to go out and it's going to go, it is a bigger miracle to heal pain in a body than it is to heal when I'm mad at Joe over here. See, it feels more impossible. Do you see how the ego makes it feel more impossible for something happening in a body to be more difficult, quote unquote, to heal? Although you don't heal bodies, but I mean, that's how the ego plays, as though you're healing bodies, but we're actually healing minds. So it'll segment little things, little ideas, little concepts where some miracles seem bigger than others. Oh, I have to go take a pill for that, because I certainly cannot heal by looking at Jesus. Looking with Jesus right now to see that this physical symptom is caused by the desire for an experience of cause separate from effect, from separation. So I would rather take a pill than look and see that this is a desire to experience separation. So it's a way of choosing, controlling miracles, to say that they're difficulty in order of miracles. Yet in the light of divine being, we can ask, is there any difficulty between miracles, changing perception over anything appearing in form, in consciousness? No limit to it. You are already a miracle, and that is all there is. Okay, we'll do one more. You believe that God does not know. This is an interesting one. I want to ask Jesus about this one. You believe you can create a world in which God does not know you, and you do not know the Father. Jesus, is there a desire for an experience where we don't know the Father? Do we desire an experience in which we do not know that we're the same as the Father? See, we're synonymous with God. So if God doesn't know, this is that God does not know itself. We do not know itself. We're trying to create an experience in which we do not know who we are. Is there a desire below my level of awareness not to have an experience in which I'm not who I am? Can I find somewhere in there the desire not to experience myself as light, essentially, not to know myself as light? Anywhere there's no supreme happiness is that desire not to know ourselves. We can ask the light. You desire an experience what God does not know. You desire to experience what God does not know. God cannot know this world. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, does the light know this world? See, we're trying to know something that's unknowable. Since you are in essence the same as the Father, you desire an experience in which you do not know. This is the desire for an experience in which you do not know who you are. The desire not to know who we are. The desire for dreaming. Okay, so here's the last one on Kingdom of Heaven for the time being until it comes back around again for us to look deeper. But this was so striking to me. I think I've mentioned this before, you know, when I was first going through chapter 20, line by line, each of these with Jesus, and thought, oh, you know, I've been in the course and I see what light is, you know, what voice, you can already hear what voice that is. And I got to this one, and as I've said, looking at each of these going, oh my gosh, I still do believe that. I still have that desire. And when I read, you believe your brother is attacking you to tear the kingdom of heaven from you, it was like, oh my goodness, I do believe that. I could see I had a desire for an experience that my brother was tearing heaven from me. I could see that's going to be hell, because every time you're interacting with someone, you know, you have that underlying terror that something outside yourself can rip heaven out. So that means every interaction with every brother, let's ask Jesus, is that going to be kind of lace that cocktail? It's going to have the cocktail of interacting and being afraid that something's going to be stripped. Your brother is attacking you to tear the kingdom of heaven from you. How can we ever join? How can we ever be who we are with that underlying desire? Jesus, is there any desire for an experience of feeling my brother is attacking me to tear the kingdom of heaven from me? Just if it is, you can feel the smoke rising. Let all the smoke rise until it's cleared. This is a good one to go really deep with Jesus on. All of these are, till he, you know, till there's nada, until he says, okay, you're done. You've really seen through the desire for that experience. That's just such a fundamental basis of feeling attacked all the time. So we're running around defending because we have to then be in a defensive mode. See, we'll be in this puts you in an automatic defensive mode because you're going to be trying to protect heaven from your brother. So let's just ask the light in honesty of God, is anything, and it's that hiding from seeing that nothing outside ourselves can take heaven away. Let's ask, in the light of divine being, can anything outside of us take heaven away? From us? Is it possible that anything, that's the desired experience, for something outside of us to strip heaven out, starting with our brother? Strip heaven, a heaven stripper. So we'll be cordial to our brother, but we'll always be defensive. So thus, if you decode that in the Jesus terms even deeper, you believe you can strip heaven from yourself. You desire an experience in which you strip heaven from yourself. See if that's in there in the light. Ask Jesus, is there a desire here to strip heaven from myself? He comes back and says, yep. And is that going to hurt? Yep. until the desire to strip the experience of heaven out of our awareness is seen through, and that it's impossible to strip heaven out of our awareness. We can never be happy. Hmm. Thank you, Jesus, for showing us all the ways in which we're pretending that we can't be infinite light, and for speaking to us so clearly, speaking to the one. That's so mysterious, so precious to hear the light speak in every brother, to remind me that my brother is the kingdom of heaven. Is our brother the kingdom of heaven? Let's just ask the light and hear so much love comes even asking that. Is my brother the kingdom of heaven? And see that it's self-inflicted terror not to recognize our brother as ourselves. Let's ask the light. It's self-inflicted terror not to see our brother as ourselves. Oh, yes. To see only one self, one totality. Different flavors of ice cream, but it's all ice cream. And see that we can never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, in the light of divine being, ever feel peaceful as long as the brother is seen as an object that can strip heaven or deny us heaven or take away heaven, or until we see that the decision to deny ourselves heaven, the choice, we want the choice. We keep going with Jesus every day. We thank him for showing us, okay, here's where you want choice. That's all it is. Let's ask the light. These light circles are just merely showing us where we desire the experience of choice. The experience to choose for something, to choose against ourselves, choose against the light that we are for something else, something other. I'm willing to see it a different way, Jesus. And we ask for a miracle on these desires that you've shown us today. Nonstop miracles for all of us. Amen.